Well, I don't feel any water coming in, so that's... How's it going, everybody? In this video, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over a dry suit from the company Hiko, H-I-K-O, and this dry suit is the Odin. And what this is a company is out of the Czech Republic, and they've been around for a while. This is not a new company. They just haven't been here in the United States much. I do have a few friends here and there that have been using this brand and really like it a lot. My buddy Don at High Waters Hobby hit me up and asked me if I've ever paddled with any of the Hiko brand, and I'm like, no, but I'm definitely interested. So this is one of his demo suits, and I have been trying this out for around about a month now. I really wanted to put it on a various types of whitewater, from, you know, creeking, play boating, whatever. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to break down kind of like the features and what I had found out on this dry suit, and then at the end I will leave my kind of final thoughts, my likes and dislikes on the dry suit. So yeah, let's get into it now. Number one, the color. The color looks awesome. It comes in 2 colors, maybe 3. This is their blue teal color, which actually matches my firecracker over there, and I really like this color a lot. And they also have red, which I think is called the Inferno. And then from what I've understand, you can do a stealth black, which I haven't seen that, but it is an option apparently. And the sizing on this, they go from small to 2X on the sizing, which is a wide variety of sizing on this thing. This fabric is called their Air. They're calling this the Air4 fabric. And one thing I had found out, it is very light and it's very thin, but it's extremely dry, which is a good combination to have, technically. I have other dry suits and they're a little thick and a little heavy, but they're really dry. But then this one is very thin. So one thing you're gonna find out, it's a thin, tight-fitting dry suit, but the cut is absolutely phenomenal. You could tell they really spent the time on getting the cuts right in the armpits. Look at how they've done these armpit cuts, that right there. And the way it doesn't have any type of restriction while you're moving your arms and more kind of like paddling, or you're having to step up over things. Like when you're stepping up over, see how they've done like the crotch there, they've cut that out and they've cut these gussets down inside there. So there's no restriction on any of it, and I do really like that feature a lot. The neck has a neoprene like covering on it. You can see right there, I got mine in a size large, made in the Czech. Latex gaskets right there, neoprene around there. They have the logo there. They have the drainage ports. I always love it when the company puts a little, see how my fingers moving around in there? So you have a drainage, so if water gets down in the neck, it comes out that little hole. It has wrist cuffs on right here on each arm, and I'm not that big of a fan of like neoprene cuffs on dry suits, but you know what? You kind of get used to it, and it kind of gives you a little more freedom of movement in the arm right there. So it's not that big a deal. And they have Cordura, so they did use Cordura on the elbows and Cordura on the bottom. They use Cordura on the knees, so that is a very thick Cordura booty that runs over right there. So really good job on that laminated Cordura. I'm a big fan of that on dry suits, by the way. If it doesn't have that stuff on there, I always get worried. So yeah, but right here you can see they have a neoprene with the rubber type backing on it for gripping on your spray skirt. They have elastic built into the back for a stretch, so you have this stretch elastic. Oh yeah, on the ankles you get some Velcro close rings, so there's a Velcro that goes around both ankles that you can have more of a pants style or more tight style, which I like pulling mine tight for just less snag while I'm portaging or hiking into runs or things like that. The zippers on this are T-zips, so they do have a T-zip on all of it, and you can see there's a little flap that covers the zip, and you know, I definitely love my flaps, the way they go over their zippers like that, because it protects the zipper from impact, and it just like gives you an extra layer of protection across the back on the zippers. They do have these little pull tabs here, or maybe that's for hanging it up. Really not sure what that is, but I think that's for where you would hang it up and let it dry. One thing I wish it did have, I wish it had like a little like rope that was extra on that zipper for when you're trying to zip it or unzip it by yourself. It's nice to have that little extra length for grabbing the zipper and pulling it there. But you know what? This works just fine. I had no problem with it. I was able to zip it by myself without any help, taking it on on and off. So yeah, you know, you can do it. It's just a little harder. And they do have a T-zip on the relief flap right here. You could see that's a T-zip under there. And it also has the flap that goes down on it. The stitching on these flaps, I don't think they need to stitch it that low because it makes it a little harder to lift that flap up and get to the zipper like piece right here and do a pull on it. But I was able to do it, not that big a deal. And on the tunnel right here, there's two Velcros double pull. So what this is, it's like a pull. You can grab it at the same time, pull it around, and then it's got a Velcro pull and it snatches onto it right there. You could see the Velcro. The Velcro patch seems to be around about maybe 3 inches there. It's sewn extremely tight into, like, it looks like it's overlapped 2-inch webbing that feels very strong, and then the webbing is sewn into the back here, so it pulls the back and tightens up there and tightens up all around over the spray skirt. I liked how they did their tunnel. The tunnel was nice, and it has this kind of grippy neoprene type material right here that holds onto the tunnel. So good job on Hiko on that type of closure right there. I think it works fine. Has a little bit of elastic that they've sewn in right there. And overall, you know, looking over the suit, you could just see the quality of it seems really good. From the month that I've had it and been using it here, the quality has just been holding up extremely well, and it's kept me warm and dry, and I've had no issues at all on it. It's got a little kind of logo on the arm right there, on the shoulder, one on the elbow, and that little leaf logo there. And when I got mine in, it came in this bag right here. You can see right here, it says, you know, ODIN Air4, the Hiko, and it's a dry suit. And this bag is really nice. I was impressed. It has a little webbing strap right there. Hiko, live in the water we live. How cute is that? And with mine, you know, obviously I didn't get these heated socks, but I wear some heated socks, which I will cover that in another video. I know y'all might want to know what those are. But here's what I got with mine. Had 2 things of T-zip, so they give you some zipper lubricant to put on there, which I always recommend using the zipper lubricant. They give you a whole patch kit, and I don't care what kind of dry suit you have, you paddle enough and you're out there portaging, hiking in, getting in and out of a boat, you're gonna eventually tear a dry suit, eventually. It's great that they gave you a little patch kit, which they actually gave you a lot of them. And inside this was just kind of like some little customer information. You know, it's also in Czech, so that if you guys can speak Czech, then I guess you'll be all right. But there is some English in there, by the way. So you actually get a lot for the price. I was really impressed with the entire setup. So yeah, let me just kind of like go over some of my likes and dislikes, which I wouldn't say they're dislikes. I would say it's places that Hiko could improve on. My likes on this thing, I absolutely love this fabric. It's very light and it's extremely dry, and I stayed warm in the coldest of weather when I was out paddling. I really like this fabric a lot. This Air4, they did a good job on this fabric, and I really like the color. I love this kind of like Coutini, whatever I think they're calling this color. It's like a blue and teal mix, and the red looks good too, but I really like this blue color. It's not a heavy dry suit, so if you don't like a very heavy dry suit, you'll like this thing right here, because there's no like restriction or like hindering your movements at all because of the cut. You could tell a paddler designed this, and it's cut for paddlers, so really good job on that too. I was impressed with the overall quality, from everything from the stitching and just kind of like the looks of the dry suit. I think they did a really good job on this thing. When I look at a dry suit, I look at how they stitched, like in things, like you can see how the zipper stitched there. I'll look at all that. Then you look at how much laminate tape they've used. They used a lot of laminate tape, so it's stitched and glued and tape. You can see all that. That looks really good. Very impressive on that. The way, look how they did the zipper right there. So you could just see the overall quality of this dry suit on what they put in it, because that's where your value and that's where your dryness is really going to come from, is how long that thing can hold up. Now, obviously, I have no idea how long this thing's going to hold up, but you know what? Time will tell. Now on to some of what I think they could improve on, or a little bit of my dislike. I don't like that they zipped this all, that they stitched this all the way down, because when you're trying to get the zipper into there, it pinches up into the fabric there and it catches. Not a big deal. It's just kind of annoying to get that to go right there. The length of this zipper head right here, whatever I guess you would call that, could use a type of like a piece of cloth or another strap or something to grab a hold of and put your thumb in, because these T-zips are kind of hard to grab a hold of. That could be improved on, but once again, not that big of a deal. It worked just fine for me. And this is more my personal preference. Neoprene cuffs, I'm not a fan of neoprene cuffs around there. I like a good Velcro closure, but I've had several dry suits that had that neoprene cuff and I've had no issues with it at all. They work fine. They're super comfortable. They don't have any type of binding on them. That's a plus on it, where you'll feel binding when you got a Velcro closure. It kind of tightens up on the arm there. So yeah, as far as like improvements or dislikes, that's really all I could find with this thing. I have been nothing but impressed with this. So good job on Hiko. I'm putting together a really good product line and really good dry suit. And big shout out to Don at High Water Hobbies. So if you guys are interested in picking up one of these dry suits, I will leave a link below onto his website on where you could get one of these. And I get a lot of questions on like shoes that I use. Everybody, I use the Mesh TR1 by Astral, and I upsize them, by the way, so that way I get a larger shoe to go over these like neoprene booties or these Cordura type booties. So that's the shoe I use, and I do use heated socks. I will leave a link to those too if you're interested in that. It's a little bougie, I get it. And I always put 303 on my neck gaskets and TIZIP or some sort of zipper lubricant on your TIZIP zippers. So yeah, there it is, everybody. That's all I got today on the Odin Air 4 Hiko dry suit. See y'all on the river.